photo frame, which was currently a snip at £4,500. And as I carried on down the road, I came along that bit where all the major hotels, I don't know if you know that, big posh hotels at the end of there. It was about 10 o'clock at night, and spilling out of all these hotels were, you know, quite attractive, wealthy-looking people, and they were sort of slipping away to Bentleys and Rolls, and they'd obviously had functions and evenings, and the whole atmosphere was one of sort of gaiety and smiles and laughs, and clearly expensive people out having an expensive time. And I just compare that to when I go back to Paisley, which I don't think is a lot different to towns across the UK at the moment. You know, where literally every third shop on the high street is now a charity shop or a pound shop. You know, that's the reality in terms of what it's like. And you look at the bus stops at the moment, and you see on the faces of ordinary folk, you know, with Christmas coming, all the commercial pressures that puts on people for, you know, especially those with families and so on. And, you know, you compare the worry and the stress and the anxiety that you see on people's faces at the bus stops to the sort of gaiety and lightness that I saw on those faces of people filling out those 6-star hotels. And, you know, you look at the fact that the Child Poverty Action Group has recently said that this current set of parents is the first in a generation who believe that their children will grow up worse off than themselves. And then they dare to tell us we're all in this together. We are not all in this together. I think in previous meetings, and I think it's still fixed, they told everyone on the Titanic they were in it together, but some were on the top deck with easy access to lifeboats and slipping away, and others were down on the bottom deck having the doors slammed in their faces and drowning. We are not all in it together, and part of the anti-cuts campaign has got to loudly and clearly articulate that we are not going to be fooled by the rhetoric that comes out of Westminster, that if we stick together with a blitz spirit, then we will get through this. We have got to wipe through that misnomer and make it absolutely clear that not one cut is necessary, not one job loss is necessary. We must defend the public sector, and as unions and community groups and activists, we have to sit and plan and make sure that we defeat these proposals. Colleagues in the PCS, our members are facing cuts in their departments from around 18 up to 41%. The Department for Work and Pensions are shedding 15,000 jobs. The HMRC up to 11,000. The MOJ 15,000. The MOD 25,000. We're seeing many of our non-departmental public bodies abolished. Our members, like others in the public sector, are facing a 2-year pay freeze, serious attacks on pensions, forced relocations, and the closure of local office networks across departments of a scale we've never seen before, which will damage not only clearly the job security of those members, but the ability of communities to get advice and help when they need it most. This agenda is one that is designed to allow this government to get through policies that they actually ideologically believe in, using the budget deficit as an excuse in order to see that through. We know that because our members are at the forefront of the brunt of the first wave of the cuts. But what I want to say quite clearly is that we will oppose them, not just from a narrow interest point of view, but our members who are users of public services, their families and their friends and their communities use public services, and their children's future is as equally as important, and I cannot express it any more eloquently than the young people that have spoken about those issues this week. The United campaign is an incredibly important factor. We cannot allow groups to be picked off one by one. We must strengthen and bring gravitas to our campaign by involving everyone who is affected by this agenda. The student protests have been incredibly powerful, but how much more powerful would they have been if trade unions, community groups, tenants associations were marching alongside